Welcome everyone. This is 5.2, slope from 2 points. We have our graph or our slope from 2 points given 2 points. So here's our standard, right? I have 4 key features in modeling. We want to learn how to find the slope of a function given a table or 2 points. So this lesson is critical because we're going to use this later on when we deal with scatter plots and using 2 points from those scatter plots. Right? So we need to find what is a rate or slope given 2 different points. Okay, so let's look at our money here. So money, you work at a restaurant and get wages and tips. In 5 hours, you make $175, and in 8 hours, 5 hours, you make $175. 8 hours, you make $235. How much money do you make in just wages per hour? Okay, so let's look at our ordered pairs. So we have our data points, right? So we have 5 hours, 175. Right, so we have 5 hours is $175. That's our first data point. Then we have 8 hours gave us $235. So those are our 2 data points, right? 5 hours, $175. 8 hours, $235. And those are our ordered pairs. So we can just write 5, comma, 175. And this one we can write 8, comma, 235. So given our 2 ordered pairs, right, we can label these. We can use x1, y1 for our first point, right? First point is 1s. Our second point, so we have x2, y2. So we're just going to label that. So we have x1, y1 for our first point. Now we got x2, y2 for our second point. And then we're going to use our slope equation, and we need to remember this right here. Our slope is change in y over change in x. Remember, our slope was rise over run, right? So the rise, which is change in y, is up and down. Our change in x, which is right and left, right? And we're going to use y2 minus y1, so the difference in the y values will give us up and down. Our difference in the x values will give us left or right. So we're still using rise over run, we're just using it with ordered pairs. So we're going to use our function or our equation y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. And then we're just going to substitute our values. So we have y2 was 235. I'll write that in. So 235 minus our y1, which is 175, over x2, which is 8 hours, right? So 8 hours minus our x1, which is 5 hours. Right, so the difference in money divided by the difference in hours. Right, so we find out what is 235 minus 75. Right, so 235 plus 25 difference, 60. So 60 over 8 minus 5, which is 3, and then we just divide, right? So 60 divided by 3 is 20. And that is our slope, which is also our rate of change. Right, so this is our slope, rate of change. $20. So it's $20 per hour. $20 per hour. So how much do you make in just wages per hour? $20 per hour, right there. So we just write out ordered pairs. If we have 2 ordered pairs, we just find the difference in the y values divided by the difference in the x values. That will give us our rate of change, which is our slope. So this is $20 per hour. Let's go to number 2. right? So here's the same thing. We're going to have our 2 points. We're going to identify our first point, which is x1, y1. Our second point, x2, y2. And we're just going to use our equation right here. Y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. And we just substitute our values. So y2 was 9 minus y1, which is negative 1. And remember to put the sign there. It's 9 minus whatever this value is, which is negative 1, which will give you that double negatives, right? So make sure you have your signs correct, right? 9 minus negative 1. And we could put a parenthesis here just to emphasize that. 9 minus negative 1. x2 is negative 2. And then subtract your x1 value, which is positive 3. Okay, and then we're going to calculate this out. Remember, double negatives, right, is addition. So this is 9 plus 1. Because you're double negatives again, right? Double negatives is addition. So we got 9 plus 1. And then negative 2 minus 3 on the bottom. You say the same. So 9 plus 1, 10. Negative 2 minus 3 is negative 5. And you divide those two numbers, you get negative 2. So our slope, or rate of change, is negative 2. Okay, part B, same process. We're going to identify our x1, or y1, right, our first point. Then we find our x2, y2. We just label our points, right, our ordered pairs. Then we use our slope equation, y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. Right, so y2, 7, and then subtract our y1, which is positive 3. Then we go to our x1 value, or x2 value, which is negative 4, minus our x1 value, which is 0. Then we calculate 7 minus 3, 4. Negative 4 minus 0 is just negative 4. Divide those two numbers, we have negative 1. So our slope is negative 1. Okay, and as we get C, same process. Right? x1, y1, or x2, y2. Use our slope equation. y2 is 8. And we're going to subtract our y1, which is 5. x2, which is 4. Subtract our x1 value, which is 2. And then 8 minus 5 is 3. 4 minus 2 is 2. And then 3 divided by 2 is a fraction, or a decimal. Right? So we just leave it in fraction form. So we just leave it 3 over 2. If we cannot reduce it, we leave it the way it is. 3 over 2. Okay, so don't change it into a decimal because we want that rise of our run, right? The 3 over 2. So 3 over 2, keep it that way. Okay, given a graph, same thing. Right, so given the graph, it gives you the points, right? Negative 2, 3, that's our ordered pair. And then 2, 1, that's another ordered pair. So given our 2 points, again, we can identify our x1, y1, and then our x2, y2. And do the same process. So y2, which is 1, minus y1, which is 3, over x2, which is 2, minus x1, which is negative 2. Remember the signs, right? Remember your signs. So it's going to be negative 2. Maybe put parentheses, because 2 minus negative 2, So we got 1 minus 3. We'll leave it like that. And then our double negatives again, right? So we have 2 plus 2. So let's remember that double negatives is addition. So 1 minus 3, negative 2. 2 plus 2, 4. And then we can reduce our fraction. All right, divide both of them by 2. And we get negative 1 over 2. So negative 1/2 is our slope for A. Okay, so given a graph, we can find the slope also using our ordered pairs. Part B, given a table, we still could find our slope, right? So we have our, basically our two ordered pairs right here, because this is, remember f of x is like a y, right? So we have our xy pairs right there. These are xy pairs right there. So we have 2, 7 and 4, 12 as our two ordered pairs from our table. And we label x1, y1, x2, y2. So as long as we have 2 points, we can always find a slope using our slope equation here, right? So y2 is 12 minus y1, which is 7, x2, which is 4, subtract x1, which is 2. That's 7, or 12 minus 7, 5. 4 minus 2, 2. And if you cannot reduce that, so we leave it as a fraction, 5 over 2. So our slope is 5 over 2, which is our rate of change also. Right? So as long as we have 2 points, we can do it. Okay, table of values below represent population of a town at various years. Use a table to find the rate of change, right? Rate of change, which is your slope of the population per year, right? So we want 2 ordered pairs. And we have a table, it gives us 2 ordered pairs. So we can choose any of these pairs or data points to help us out. We could use the first 2 if we wanted to, right there. So we have 2003, 13,000 people. And we also have 2008, 23,000 people. That's our 2 data points. And once you have the 2 data points, label them x1, y1, x2, y2. And we use our slope equation. So m equals y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. And we fill in our numbers, right? So y2 is 23,000. Subtract y1, which is 13,000, over x2, 2008. Subtract x1, which is 2003. And we calculated out 23,000 divided by, or minus 13,000, 10,000. And the difference of years, 2008, 2003 is 5. So 10,000 people in 5 years. And we divide that is 2,000 per year. Right there. So what is the rate of change of population per year? Right, so increasing 2,000 people per year. So that's our rate of change, 2,000. And again, our right side of our graph is going up. So that means we have a positive slope. Positive rate of change. So we're increasing by 2,000 people per year, right? Because it's increasing going up to the right.